What is going on, y'all? GoofyRhexxi here, and hope everybody is doing well. And welcome, guys, to the weekly headliner update, week number 65. Now, if you're new to the weekly headliner, this is where we discuss what is upcoming this week in Marvel Strike Force, and then we recap the important topics from the previous week as well. There'll be a lot of stuff to talk about here, one of which is going to be the Doctor Strange Heartless Event campaign. That's going to be starting tonight. We're going to go over what I think are the best characters that you should be using for the new heroic difficulty. We also do have a Blitz coming up on Thursday, pretty important one. It's going to be the first Blitz here for not Doctor Strange, but for Wong. That's going to be his first Blitz, going to be starting on Thursday. Going to talk about some prediction numbers there. Going to give some quick thoughts as well on the Orange Gear and the ISO 8 updates that were presented to us in the blog post this past Friday. And then also some data mines as well, guys. We have some Scourge data mines in regards to some of the Scourges that could, what their effects will be in the new Pestilence event. We're going to go over that as well in this video. But really, we're going to go over so much more, guys, on the weekly headliner update. And we're going to start right now. All right, y'all, welcome back. And of course, like I said, we got lots to talk about here on the headline. We're going to jump right into it. I want to say I'm a little under the weather, so forgive me if I'm not as high energy or if my words get a little slurred at times. We've been battling some stuff over the past couple of days here. What can I say? Kids in daycare, they get everything. They're bringing it home. You nurse them back to health. Then you get it. That's typically what tends to happen. But let's go up into the first topic for this week, guys. It's going to be the Doctor Strange Heartless Event campaign, right? So we know that we need the unyielding characters, or characters that have the unyielding traits, in order to be able to do this new heroic difficulty. That's really what our concern is, right? This new heroic difficulty where they've the recommendations that were given, that if you want to get through mission 9, that you're going to have the recommendation, right, is that you're going to need to have characters at level 85, gear tier 15, 7 stars, ISO 8, green, level 5. Now, like I said, I always typically tend to take their recommendations with a little bit of grain of salt. Somebody even mentioned in a video I did last week where I talked about the unyielding characters, the best ones, that usually those recommendations seem to be kind of, if you want to auto the content, which I typically can say maybe that's kind of what their thoughts are as well, since that's kind of how they do their testing. But in terms of the best characters in that thing that you're going to want for this event here, I think it's going to be Gamora, Baron Zemo, Scarlet Witch, who I'm still building up right now, and then so Gamora, Nebula, Baron Zemo, Deathpool, and then also Scarlet Witch, I think, are the most optimal choices to choose here. But there are some other ones that are also pretty good too. Lady Deathstrike, she can help out quite a bit with some damage. She's pretty good with some control, right? That speed manipulation, that's also pretty good as well. Being able to also throw some defense downs, which will help, for you to do some more additional damage. Ghost is also another bad option too if you've already have her built up. She can do some pretty good damage as well, but then also, of course, some speed manipulation with her basic can also be really helpful, and she can also throw some debuffs out there with her special ability as well. So there's some good options that are here. Kate Bishop and Magic and Echo are kind of honorable mentions. Obviously, if you already have Doctor Strange Heartless built up too, you can also bring him in if you were able to, if you did spend the money to get him. I'm currently working up my Darkhold team right now. Like, as you can see, Scarlet Witch is at 73, so is Doctor Strange. I'm kind of slowly building everybody up like a level a day, but I may go a little bit higher right now with Scarlet Witch because I do think that that's probably one of the more optimal options. But I'm probably going to try Gamora, Zemo, Nebula, Lady Deathstrike, and then probably Deathpool first, and then see what happens from there. I think we'll be okay. In worst case scenario, maybe we'll have to try Ghost. But those are my thoughts pretty much basically in the Doctor Strange Heartless event, and probably where I think the best character options that are available, and maybe some ones that you should consider using as well. But let's shift some gears here. I wanted to talk about the blitzes for this week. So the first blitz is going to be tonight. It's going to be Negasonic's blitz. So I think probably only a few people really care about Negasonic right now, because if you're an endgame player, you probably already have the character at 7 stars. But if you're probably someone that's a little bit earlier, you want to be able to get Negasonic to unlock Dr. Octopus. So definitely that's an important character for you. But the one that's going to be more important, right, is going to be the blitz that we're going to have for the first Darkhold character. Well, technically second. or third Darko character, but this is going to be for Wong, right? So we're going to have Wong's Blitz this week. That's going to be on Thursday. This is going to be the first Blitz for him that's going to be popping up here. Now, I pulled up some prediction numbers for really the ones that the closest ones that I could find that are probably going to be as close to Wong, where Wong's numbers would be, was Kestrel's Blitz. This would probably be a few weeks ago. Could have been about a month ago or so when we had Kestrel's Blitz. And in terms of the prediction numbers that were here, these are probably what you're going to be looking at for Wong's Blitz. So top 1 to 100 cutoff. You're usually what we're starting to see right now is you're looking at anywhere between 68 million to about 71 million for the top 1 to 100 cutoff. For top 1%, I think we're seeing anywhere between 54 million to about 57 million. So, and then so on and so forth. That's kind of what you're getting here. I think 2 to 3%. I've seen numbers where people are getting 36 million and they're able to get a 2 to 3%. So I don't think it needs to be as high, but I would probably say this probably wouldn't be far-fetched to shoot for as well. But though that Blitz is going to be starting on Thursday, obviously an incredibly important Blitz because Wong being a part of the Darko team is going to be an arena team. You definitely want to make sure that you can get as good of stars on them as possible. The problem is that if you're someone that didn't spend any money on Wong, and if you're not going to be able to get the top 1%, and ultimately you're probably not, you may be able to get the unlock if you're able to land in the 2 to 3%, or even 4 to 10%, because of the milestones. Each milestone, right, is going to give you 21 shards. If you get 4 to 10%, you're getting 45 shards. So you'll still be able to get the unlock for him, but it's still tough right now. Blitz releases in general are really ones that I really enjoy because I do think it's a little restrictive on shards. And I kind of think that this game should be at a place now where most players are able to get a 4-star character fairly easily now. I think this is still a little bit too restrictive in my opinion. Better than Strike Pass for some players, but I'm not really a huge big fan of it. But that's what I'm thinking here. Look at these numbers. You're gonna see Blitz prediction numbers go out today for Negasonic, and then also on Thursday you'll see those Blitz prediction numbers go out for Wong as well. So take some time, prep what you need to, and then make sure that you can get those shards that you want. All right, so speaking of blitzing, we do have a Blitz event essentially that's going to be ending sometime soon. It's going to be the anniversary event, the Successful Brew milestones coming to a close, guys. We got 3 days and it says 9 hours. This is going to end on Thursday night, so literally right before the Wong Blitz starts, which I'm not gonna lie to you, it's kind of bittersweet for me. I wouldn't have mind also doing the Successful Brew milestone while the Wong Blitz was going on, because then it also I would have had a little bit more incentive to Blitz. Although the rewards for the Successful Brew milestone have been pretty good. Like there's been no complaints for me other than, hey, there's Scarlet Witch shards, but I know that there's some players that probably would really like to get some Scarlet Witch shards because you probably ignore Scarlet Witch. If you started playing the game, let's say like a year ago, a year and a half ago, you probably ignore Scarlet Witch completely, right? So being able to get some shards for her is not like terrible right now, especially that she's going to be a Darko. She's going to be a Darko team, an arena team. So that's not bad. But the other rewards here have been pretty damn good. I mean, the purple gear, I don't mind because a lot of players do need purple gear. So I'm completely okay with that. The orange, the Armory 14 orbs, a ton of Armory 14, a ton of Armory 15 orbs. And then of course, like the osmium, right, that you need for Morgan Le Fay. And yeah, some really good stuff that we were able to grab from here. So overall, like, although I didn't like the fact that I had to blitz so much, I didn't mind that I could blitz and get through the event. Does that make sense, right? Like, yes, I had to blitz a lot, but at the same time, I got good return on my time for blitzing because I got a lot of really good rewards. So this is how I think all events should be. Morbius was kind of similar, although you couldn't get to those last 2 milestones, which were pretty good rewards. But the Morbius event was slightly free-to-play friendly, right? This was really free-to-play friendly because you're able to get so many things by doing, hey, 4 to 5 blitz rotations a day. Yes, it was a lot, but it was still a good amount of stuff that you were able to get from it. But yeah, this is going to be ending on Thursday, right before the Wong Blitz. So make sure that you do see what you need to get, calculate the numbers, see how many points you need to get over the next couple of days so you can finish off this milestone. But yes, it's going to be ending on Thursday night. In addition to that, we did get this reward as well. Forgive me, guys. Like I said, my voice, congestion, all that. But we were able to get this anniversary gift event, which was our anniversary gift in our mailbox here, which I thought was really good too. I mean, 400 cores. I think I was really excited for the 4.4 million gold. I mean, I think that was really where I was like, oh my God, we need gold. I did some math and calculations. It's like over 50 million gold, right? To bring all your Darkhold characters, including the ones, pretty much basically all 5 Darkhold characters, to put all the T4s on them. You're essentially looking at over 50 million gold, right? In order to be able to do so, because Morgan Le Fay, Agatha, Wong, they're 11 million gold themselves, and Doctor Strange Heartless, right? 11 million gold. If you've already built up a little bit of Scarlet Witch, then it's not that bad. But I mean, really, it's a lot of gold to invest into one team, but to be able to equip all those T4s, bring them all the way up to 85 and gear tier 15. It's quite a bit of investment that you have to do. So I think I was really happy for this 4.4 million gold. Definitely was incredibly nice to be able to get as well. The SBCs are also good, and of course those 45 Kestrel shards are pretty damn good as well, especially for some players who probably hadn't unlocked Kestrel as of yet. Good to be able to get those shards as well. Hopefully you were able to get Kestrel there. But and wanted to talk about something else that's happening this week as well, and it's Avengers Tower. So Avengers Tower is going to be starting on April 7th. So the same night as Wong's Blitz, right? So that's going to be, those are going to happen at the same time there. I wanted to kind of answer this question because this has been asked quite a few times. It says, prep your roster today and enjoy the climb to victory. The question that has been posed to me before is whether or not you should build your roster for Avengers Tower. And I'm going to say this. I feel like probably no, right? Or I say probably. I don't think you should. I don't think that you should build your roster, because some people have said, hey, you know what? Young Avengers are really good in Avengers Tower. You should build them just for Avengers Tower, because you're going to be facing some Infinity Watch teams, and you want to be able to beat Infinity Watch teams with Young Avengers. And I like Young Avengers. I'm going to build them out for reasons that are not the same as everybody else, where they're building them out because they really want a good war defense team. I'm building them out because they're just my favorite team in the Marvel universe ever. So I just love that faction, Young Avengers. That's just been my thing. But I don't think that you should be building out your roster for Avengers Tower. I think Avengers Tower is one of those things where you build out your roster that you're doing for. There's just too many other things to build, right? There's too many other things to build for it. You have Arena, then you have Dark Dimension. You have Arena, Raids. Then there's Alliance War, and then you have Dark Dimension, and to build out your roster just solely for Avengers Tower, and of course Cosmic Crucible is right around the corner, right? To build out your roster just for Avengers Tower is kind of, to me, that's stretching it too far. I think that you're going to do fine once you're building out for other content, that you're going to be okay with getting through Avengers Tower. And each time that Avengers Tower rolls around, you'll probably realize that you'll be able to climb a little bit higher, because your roster would have been built out for other content, and then of course subsequently would help out with your Avengers Tower climb, right? So those are my thoughts on Avengers Tower. I'm happy to see it come back. I am a little sad though that this is going to be happening again with the Wong Blitz, because it's just more screen time, right? So now I'm gonna be setting timers to log in and do Wong's Blitz. Then I'm also gonna be doing Avengers Tower for probably an hour every single day. It's just a lot of screen time. I think we've mentioned this before, where we ideally would like for them to switch something off, right? Turn something off so that we don't have to do Avengers Tower and then this and then that, right? There's war. I mean, shoot, man, Avengers Tower's on April 7th. There's going to be war on Friday for me. Some of you guys have war on Thursdays. I mean, it's a lot of content to do, a lot of screen time. And some of us have wives that don't want us to just log in and play the game for like 3-4 hours. They want to hang out with us at nighttime for whichever reason. I don't know why. I'm not that great of a person, but she still wants to hang out with me. So I got to appreciate that. But this is a lot of time to spend in screen time in regards to Avengers Tower. It's just a lot, guys. So I would like to see them sort of shave down the time a little bit and give us maybe just do raids 3 days a week or something like that, so that when you do introduce Avengers Tower, because there's also going to be Cosmic Crucible, right, at some point too, where you're going to spend an hour to do that. And I don't know, Avengers Tower show, it's not an every week thing, but you kind of get the point, right? It's a lot of screen time and just in general, in my opinion. But yes, Avengers Tower will be back on April 7th. So prep your roster. Don't build for it, but just make sure that you're ready and know and are aware when it comes around. All right, so in the blog post, we got an update here in regards to Orange Gear and some changes that are going to be making to some of the mini uniques. They talked about the Ultra Store and then also some of the Orange Elite War Orbs. And then some changes they're going to be making to some campaign nodes here. So for the high demand Gear Tier 14 and Gear Tier 15 uniques, they're going to be available now in 2 campaign nodes each instead of 1, and those nodes will cost 10 campaign energy. So that's actually really helpful because there's some pieces that I'm looking for at times where I'm like, man, I got to farm those in the 20s. So it's actually good that they're going to be making these changes. Many uniques where players need only 6 copies per completed piece will now be moved to the nodes that cost 20 campaign energy. For me, that's fine, right? So you're thinking about like the sigils, right? Or like your syringes or the metabolic enhancers, right? Those are fine to go into the 20s for me because you don't typically need a lot of them. But it's the other stuff, right? Like the adaptive pathogens, the waffle pieces that are currently right now on multiple man's node, right? So stuff like that, my understanding is that they're going to be moving those to the 10s and instead of only having them on the 20s. So that's for me something that's okay. I'm happy that they're doing that. They mentioned some changes here to the Ultra Store Orange Orbs, where they've updated so that there are no 4 times more mini unique rewards and 2 times gear quantities. Additionally, we'll be reducing the drop rate of armor catalysts because a lot of us probably have a ton of these, right? In favor of increasing the drop rate for all other catalyst types as well. So for me, the Ultra Store, whatever, I don't really open up those orbs anyways, but if you are someone that does that, then maybe that helps you out quite a bit. I usually prioritize that for something else, but I mean, it's good that they're making it so that it's 4 times more. That's pretty good. The Orange Elite War Orbs, all quantities of the Orange Gear War Orb 1 will be updated to the quantities of 6. Along with this is a cosmetic change to the Orange Gear War Orb 2 and swapping the center and the right pillars to match the format of the Orange Gear War Orb 1. Okay, yeah, that seems fine. That seems okay. One thing that we didn't get any information on though was the teal gear. Still, that's the elephant in the room that nobody has mentioned yet, right? And we don't know exactly what's happening with that. We don't know if that's updates coming or not, but I'm wondering if they're sort of kind of making these changes to these elite war orbs for Orange Gear to then make space or to kind of prep for the Orange Elite teal gear. I don't know, wishful thinking, guys, wishful thinking, but we need to get some updates on that. As of right now, it's just been kind of radio silence. All we have is the raid orbs, the Armory 16s orbs, and then, which only has 2 pillars. And then, of course, you know, buying stuff from the store. Thank goodness for the successful Brew Milestone. We've been able to get some stuff there. But they also talk about some ISO 8 changes as well, making some more ISO 8s available. ISO 8 availability will also be receiving an update to help transition to more of your roster to ISO 8 Blue. The first update will be the ISO 8 store with the additional 6 new slots that will allow players to buy single copies of T2 ISO 8 crystals. We'll also be adding 3 T1 ISO 8 crystal slots and increasing the quantity of crystals that appear in these slots from 1 to 3, which is good. And they also mentioned down here the Strike Initiative ISO 8 objective will reward 10,000 T2 L1 ions as well as 10,000 T1 ions. So I think this is fine. I think this is more just kind of getting you so that you can kind of fill out a slot quicker, right? Because I mean, the ions right now are the problem, but it's like really an inverse, right? Because sometimes right now where I'm at is that I have a lot of ions, I just don't have enough crystals, right? That's kind of where I'm at when it comes to blue ISOs, and I know even green ISOs, it's the same thing. Like I have a bunch of ions. I had like 5 million ions, but I don't have enough crystals. That's why I'm farming crystals. I spend cores on crystals every day because I need to get more crystals, especially controllers, right? Because we have 3 controllers this patch. There's Madeline Pryor, there's Morgan Le Fay, there's there's Scarlet Witch, but Scarlet Witch was already here. But I mean, these are controllers, and controller, support, brawler. Those are kind of like the three ones that really I have a little bit of an issue or struggle with. So the changes that they're making here, they seem okay, but really the question that I'm asking is what's going on with the teal gear? That's kind of my big question currently right now. But I want to talk about this as well. We got this in-game mail last week here, and incredibly ambiguous in my opinion. So, because we really don't have much more information, right? So we got this in-game mail talking about Agatha, and then down here it says, be on the lookout for an upcoming event. This upcoming event to earn Agatha Harkness character shards. I'm sorry, I'm blocking some of it right here, but what upcoming event? We have no idea what this actual event is for Agatha, and I've seen no data mines. I've seen nothing else that has said, hey, that Agatha is gonna be coming in an event store event, or she's gonna be a Blitz. A lot of us thought she was gonna be with Pocket Dimension, but then Pocket Dimension happened last week, by the way, which is also ending tonight. So if you haven't done your Pocket Dimension run yet, it's ending tonight. There's no timer on it. They just said that it was in the last 7 days. Today would be the 7th day, so make sure that you finish that up. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that we got this, that they gave us this in-game mail, and that there was nothing that said what her actual event was going to be. Now, I'm expecting that we're probably going to be getting her offers probably either tonight or maybe tomorrow, I would suspect, because usually when we get an in-game mail, it's usually like 6 days after or something like that when we get it. So this was this was the 30th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I would say probably today or tomorrow is probably when we're gonna get an offer here for Agatha. So that I guess we should be expecting that, and then of course I'm assuming that shortly after then that we'll most likely have an idea in regards to when what her actual event is gonna be and when that's actually gonna be going live. Hopefully we get that sometime soon here. So wrapping up with some other stuff, we did also get some data mines. These data mines talked about the Scourge event, or was kind of these data mines were for showing us some of the Scourges and what their effects are going to be for the Morgan Le Fay Pestilence event here. So some of them showed Scourge card 1, Unkillable. This one here, when an enemy drops below percentage health, they gain death proof. So that's the name of it, and then that's the description. So I'm reading this wrong. So Unkillable, and then the effect would be that when an enemy drops below a percentage of health, they gain death proof. This one is called Dark Resolve. On an allied death, enemies gain defense up. This one is Back and Fight. When an enemy is healed, they gain deflect. Fool Me Twice. This one, when an enemy, you guys can't see this one, but it says when an enemy takes damage, they gain speed up for 2 turns. And it's really kind of a long data mine here. When an enemy, with a strong opener unspawn, enemies gain immunity. So these are kind of like the different scourges that you can apply to your runs here. That will, of course, the more scourges you apply, then the more points that you're going to be able to get running through the Pestilence event. So this is all cool and fine and dandy, but what I really want is the restrictions. Like, what are the other node restrictions that we have right now? We only know so much about like Web Warriors and Dark Hunters, that they're going to be needed for the higher difficulties. But really what I would like to know is, okay, well, for node 1, 2, 3, 4, what are the restrictions there? For node 6, 7, 8, not 9, like what are the restrictions there? Those are the things that I would like to know. So I'm hoping that we're going to be getting some information on that as we move forward here. But like I said, wrapping up, Black Bolt returns. That's legendary event is going to be starting here tonight. We also do have a bonus event that's going to be happening this week as well. We're going to be able to get some double campaign energy. I'm going to mention it somewhere down here. April 5th, we're going to get 2 times. Sorry, not double campaign energy. 2-time gold rewards from campaigns. That's going to be starting on April 5th. That's going to be tomorrow night here. But let me know, guys, what are your thoughts on all of these things? What do you think about the changes to orange gear? Do you think that those are favorable? What do you think about that in regards to the economy of the game? Avengers Tower, are you excited for that to be coming back into the game right now? Agatha, what are your thoughts on what her event campaign, or not event campaign, but what her event is going to be? What are your thoughts there? And the data mines, they seem fine. The Scourges seem fine. I think once you start piling too many of them up, it might be a little too challenging, or it might be incredibly challenging, but also might be a little bit of fun, right? More challenges sometimes can be more fun, depending on your outlook on it. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are in regards to all of these topics that we discussed today. Thank you guys for staying and sticking it out with me. I know I'm not at 100% right now, but I thank you guys for watching the video anyways. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Bye.